Everyone, my name is Alan, founder and consultant at Fornow Marketing, and welcome to Liquid for Technical Marketers. Assign and capture tags are the two ways to create variables in Liquid. Assign tags are necessary in almost every Liquid use case. But when do we use the capture tag? Watch this video to find out. The assign tag will be used in almost every Liquid use case since it's the main Liquid tag that allows us to create variables. We've actually already seen examples of the assign tag even before we talked about what tags were because assign tag is that crucial and fundamental to Liquid. The syntax is simple. Open up the assign tag with the curly bracket percent symbol, type the word assign in lowercase, and type in the variable name. And one thing to note is that the variable can only be one word, and that's why we often see these two types of variable naming conventions. The first one is called camel case, and it's called camel capital C case because the capital I see in the middle looks like a camel hump. So if we were to create a variable for a user's first name, it would look something like this right here. And then the second and the more common naming convention is called lower with under. And the variable is literally written in lowercase and with underscores. So the same example for the first name would look like this in lower with under format. And let's take a look at what that looks like in Braze. So we have our camel case first name, which looks like that. And then we have with lower with under first name, looks like that. Either way should work perfectly fine. We should get two cases of capital A Allen. The only thing is if we assign a first name with a space inside, that will most likely cause problems. Let's see what happens. Yep, and we don't see the third case of Allen, and that's because there's a space in the name. Notice even the color has changed a little bit, so that's not part of the variable blue, and that's how we know there's an issue. Now, it's possible to render values directly in Liquid without assigning them to variables. For example, if I simply wrote Allen in double curly quotes and inside quotes, this would render Allen, and I can even apply filters to this value directly, like the capitalized filter. Let's take a look in Brace. So without having the assign tag, I can just go ahead and assign Allen or create render Allen, even use the capitalized filter, and this should work just fine, capital A Allen. However, if we had to insert that first name variable multiple times throughout a message, and maybe sometimes that first name has to change, it would be cumbersome to have to write out the value every single time that first name was mentioned, especially if we're having to add filters and change filters and so on. So by assigning a variable with a specific value, that variable and its value can be referenced over and over again throughout our message, allowing us to be flexible in our Liquid coding. For example, here I have a message where my first name, Alan, is hard-coded all throughout the messages. However, let's say that somebody else joined the program or I found a partner and we need to now create a new message with the partner's name. Let's say the partner's name is Alina. In a hard-coded message, I would have to go into each of them and then change the message manually. However, by using Liquid, I can go ahead and replace the hard-coded name with a variable and then just change all instances of the variable. And now I only have to worry about changing it in one place, which is in the assign tag. So if I go ahead and do first name equals Alina, and then make sure to close the assign tag, now, whatever value is stored in this variable will get applied to all the messages. Let's go ahead and click test. Great. Alina is populated. Let's say I change it back to Alan. Awesome. That was quick. That was easy. Just one place to change it. Lastly, let's talk about when to use the capture tag instead of the assign tag. First, the capture tag works by capturing everything that's between the capture and end capture tags, assigning the entire value to the variable. And even though the assign tag will be our best friend, most of the times there will definitely be use cases where the capture tag is necessary. Here's an example in Brace. So let's say I have two variables, city, which is equal to Los Angeles, and favorite software, which is equal to Brace. These are some attributes about myself. And let's say I want to create a about me variable. It's a variable that stores a sentence about me. And that's what this might look like. And I'm going to use a capture tag. So I'm going to capture everything between this capture tag and the end capture tag. So everything in here. And that value is going to be stored into a variable called about me. So about me will render the entire sentence starting in I live with, ending with the variable favorite software. So there's two things to note here. The capture tag is especially helpful if variable values are multi-line values or it's a longer sentence, and or it relies on other variable values inside that variable value. So notice how about me is going to include the variable city and favorite software. So if I go ahead and now try to render about me and see what that looks like, it's going to say I live in Los Angeles. My favorite marketing software is Braze. Let's say I moved back home to my home city and went to Chicago. Now, just by changing the variable city, it will be changed in my capture tag as well. Now it says I live in Chicago. My favorite marketing software is Braze. Awesome. That's it for today. Thank you for watching and see you next time.